my stuff!
Hello there! Sean the Extra Guy here, and welcome to a different sort of a video, and you can see my hands. Ooh. No, I'm not Stuart Ashen. This is a different video of sorts, sort of an educational video, I suppose. I just wanted to show a little bit of my collection, because a friend suggested to me that I should, show my retro game collection, and this is sort of, part of my collection. It's just, as you can see from the title, Sega Game Gear. And yes, I said Sega because, well, it was drilled into us for years and years when we were kids. It was Sega. For the advertising and bloody commercials, Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive, Sega Game Gear, Sega World.
Mega Drive from Sega.
A Sega Mega Drive only from Sega.
Sega Video Games, Sega Master System, Sega Games at Sega, expanding Sega range, Sega releases, Sega
Game Gear! I must buy Sega now!
Yeah. For some reason, Australia decided to just pronounce Sega as Sega. And I try to stop myself from saying Sega, but you know what? I'm just embracing it. It's Sega. But yeah, as you can see, Sega Game Gear, or Sega Game Gear. Yeah, as we learned years later, it was Sega. Yeah, we found out that the Americans, the Japanese, and the British were all saying Sega. I really like this handheld. I mean, not as much as the Game Boy, and I never owned one of these when I was a kid, so I'm glad to own one now. And I've been collecting for it for about 2 years now. I've had this for about half a year, I think. And yeah, I was collecting games ahead of, before getting this. So yeah, but yeah, I really like it. It's kind of like a miniature Master System, and if you know what like I said in the Spellcaster video, like the first video I think it was, I said that, it was one of my favourite consoles, one of my favourite retro consoles, and I mean that, the Master System really is, and it has a lot of the same games on it, not all of them, but there's quite a few that, kind of interchange between the two systems. There are some exclusives for this, obviously, and, there are some games that were developed for this first and then ported to the Master System, and then there were just Master System games ported to this, because same type of hardware, at least that's what I think. Anyway, so, Game Gear. I've got my, original Game Boy here for comparison, and as you can see the size, yeah, you're not going to be able to keep this in your pocket, because the idea of portable gaming, but even this is like, that's a brick, but still, you could at least sort of keep that in your pocket, or, I don't know why you would want to keep this in your pocket in the first place, but there you go. The battery life of the Sega Game Gear. Now, battery life is an infamous thing, of course, because not only do you have to have 6 AA batteries, they only last, at best, I think it's probably around 3-4 hours, maybe 5 if you're lucky, depending on the game. This, I think it's like 30 hours you could potentially get from most games, and only takes 4 AA's. Now, of course, there's a big difference between the two systems, right? This system, black and white, or green and yellow, or whatever the hell color it is, and also, you see this? There's no light. You basically have to hold it up to the surface of the sun to get any sort of, or like I'm doing, to the light. Yeah, these weren't the best, and there was a lot of accessories that got sold with the Game Boy that allowed you to see the screen, and you didn't have to go to fucking Mercury to play it. Okay, so, big difference. This had a backlight, color screen, and yeah, that was pretty much the big selling point, was the fact that it had a color screen and a backlight. So I'll just give you an example with just one game for now. So I don't know why, but contrast is a bit weird. It's like I can see better with the camera screen than I can with real life. What the? Except there's a delay, so I wouldn't be able to do that, play any games like that. So this is one of my favorite games, which is Aerial Assault. It's also on the Master System. I think it's better on the Master System, but yeah. As you can see, there's lights, and it's in color. So yeah, big difference. Big difference of the Sega Game Gear compared to the Game Boy. Like I said. And of course, I'll show you the cartridges very quickly. This is a Game Boy cartridge, as you can see, and this is a Game Gear cartridge. Completely different. They cannot be played in either system. Well, I'll move on to the games now. I like to keep that in there because, you know, what's Game Boy without a Tetris? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go through worst to best. Whoops. Worst to best, because I feel as though I want to save the best for last. So, first off, Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote, Desert Speed Trap. No, not that trap. Yeah, it's kind of a meh kind of game. It's not bad. It's not particularly exciting. Let's just give it that. It's basically like a platformer, sort of like Sonic in a way. Kind of not. But you haven't got anything else to play. I suppose maybe that's a good game. I don't know. Anyway, Speed Trap. Nothing too special. Golf. Not a bad game. It's just golf. Or Super Golf, I should say. Super Golf. Okay, yeah, this is the Japanese cartridge. But, yeah, it's golf. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like some golf games. I like Mario Golf and, what's it called? Golf Story on Nintendo Switch. At least, I think it's on other systems. I think it might be a Nintendo Switch exclusive. I'll have to check that out. But, yeah, this is a golf game. Played it, and it's alright, you know. Golf. Next one. This. Sega Game Pack 4-in-1. Well, okay. Possibly the only good game on this is Columns, and then the other three games ranked from best to worst is the Rally game, Tennis, and then some soccer goal kicking game. I don't know. I don't know why that was included on there. I don't know why they just didn't have soccer, you know? At least that would have been interesting, but no, just rock, paper, scissors, I think it is. It's like, you know, choose the right option and then possibly the goal kicker, or if you're playing the goal kicker. See you at the party, Richter! What the fuck am I talking about? Anyway, so yeah, it's not a very good game. And then Tennis is Tennis. Rally, I think it's like Game Gear Rally or something like that. But, yeah, it's an okay driving game. Not as good as another one that I have here, but I'll wait until I get to that. Next one.
Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe. Okay, so I just felt the need to record over this. So I've since played more of this game, and the reason why I was so low on the list is because I barely played any of it. So this is a side-scrolling RPG game mixed with, like, top-down RPG elements. It's basically like Zelda 2, down to the bloody encounter system on the main map. It's also a little bit challenging, probably on the same level as Zelda 2, at least in the dungeons. First dungeon I walked into, I died in like a couple of hits, so yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, to say the least. But other than that, it's an alright game. It's just not really my cup of tea in terms of an action RPG. But anyway, moving on.
Okay, last worst game. Super Battle Tank. Super Battle Tank. It's Super Battle Tank. Super Battle Tank is Super Battle Tank. You know what Super Battle Tank is? Super Battle Tank. Don't really like this one. I honestly, it's a 3D shooter thing. You're in a tank, and it's so fucking boring. And then when you finally get some action, you die. That was my impressions when I played the game. Alright, so we'll move on to the good games that I have. Oh, and just before I leave off, I'm getting onto the good games. just show the cases for these things. This is the Game Boy case. That's Wario Land, one of my favorite games. And this is what they come in. And this is Sonic Chaos, which, if you're going to play a Sonic game on the Sega Game Gear, this is the one you want. It's the one closest to the console version, the one closest to Sonic the Hedgehog on Genesis Mega Drive, right? The rest of them, Sonic, I think it's just Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. They're not any good. They tried to like make an exclusive Game Gear game, and it just didn't end up being that good. But this is a good Sonic game. If you have a Game Gear, or if you yar har fiddly, although it doesn't really matter anymore because it's that old. Yeah, play this one. This is a good Sonic Game Gear game. Aerial Assault, like we were playing before. Not as good as the Master System version, but it's a side shooter. It's a side, what do you call it? Side-on shooter? Forget. Either way, it's a nice shooter. It's I think it's quite easy to get into. It's not too difficult. It's not too easy. There are some difficult bits, but this is the Game Gear version, which is completely different from the Master System version. The graphics are different and the music's different. So yeah, but it's the same sort of basic gameplay. Next, Woody Pop. Now this is a Arkanoid sort of a clone game. It's or Super Breakout if you wanna go way back, Atari days. Yeah, it's a decent what do you call it? Well, I don't know what you would call Arkanoid, but I wouldn't really call it a puzzle game. It's sort of like a skill game. You have to react and you have to sort of work out the physics of where the ball's going to go. Only thing is, because it's on a handheld and with a D-pad, it can be a little bit tricky to control that sort of paddle that you have. That's why Arkanoid and Super Breakout are best played with like a paddle controller, the one that twists and everything. I mean, you can do it with a D-pad, but it's a lot harder, especially when you have to react at a certain amount of time. And I definitely prefer the paddle controllers when playing those games. All right, next up, Super Monaco GP. Super Monaco GP. It's a decent racing game. I like it. It's it's very basic. It's not like racing games of today. It's not like it's not at all like the Sonic the Hedgehog race games. I forget what you call them, but yeah, not at all like them. But decent game. I like it. And so, last but certainly not least, Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap. No, not that trap. Yeah, this is one of my favourite games on the Game Gear, and it's also one of my favourite games on the Master System as well. It's a side-scrolling RPG, action RPG, I should say. And if you've never heard of Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap, Wonder Boy 3, the Dragon's Trap, it's also called. It's seriously, you owe it to yourself to play it one day. It's pretty much Sega's answer to Zelda, I suppose. But there was only one good game out of them. The other one, I think it's in Monster World or Monster Land, I can't remember. That was okay. This is the good one. You want to play this one. You want to find a copy, or you want to buy the remaster on Nintendo Switch or PlayStation or whatever. I got it on Nintendo Switch. I think it's better on the Switch because you can take it anywhere and play it on TV. Yeah, this is a good game. And another thing is you can use the save data, the save password data. You can copy that, put it on the Game Gear or the Master System, and you can load that save. So a game from 2017, released remaster of this game from 2017. The save data still it can work in this and the Master System version. I think that's amazing. They actually put that effort in, so you could actually do that. But yeah, Really great game, and you can, like I said, even with that save feature, you can transfer your save from this to the Master System. If it was back in the day, it kind of like Nintendo Switch in a way, but you have to buy this and a copy of Wonder Boy, two copies of Wonder Boy 3, this console, and a Master System. So there's that, but you can take a game on the go and play it on the TV. Anyway. So yeah, like I said, that's one of the best games that I own. And that's all the games that I own. Let's count them. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I own 10 games. And yeah, I really want to collect more of it, except sort of hard to find sometimes, and also depends where you're getting them from. If you're getting them off eBay for cheap, that's good, but whoops, if you're getting them off resellers, sometimes they can hike the prices up, and it's not good for anyone. I suppose good for the resellers, but not good for me, because I want to own the game and I don't want to pay fucking thousands of dollars. Sometimes it can be easy to find one of these for cheap. I got this for about $80. I mean, it's not in the most pristine condition, but $80, I think, is fair for this. So, that was my video on the Sega Game Gear, or the Sega Game Gear. Sorry. But yes, so, tell me what you think of this video. I don't know if I'm going to do another one of these. This is just a test sort of thing. I do tend to fumble around a lot with my words, and I do tend to go when it's unscripted, so I apologise for that. So, like this video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, make a comment below, share the video around, and stay safe, and have a nice day.